Now this is going to sound weird to some, but XL Bully 4 here needs more training because he's overly affectionate with people. You give him an inch and he takes a mile. He breaks through his training to love bomb people. A stroke on the back, tickle behind the ears or a pat on the head leads to XL Bully Thor nuzzling people and licking their hands. Thor has to be invited to greet people. He's not allowed to just go up to people. None of my pack are. They have to respect boundaries around approaching people, and they can only seek affection with the permission of that person. Only then will I allow it. Thing is that Thor has what I'd call an obsession with elderly people. We have a lot in my area and they tend to be the ones to welcome Thor and spend time with him much more than younger people do. These are my guys, just resting, bless them. For some reason, they love to stroke Thor and they love to talk to him. However, the problem is that Thor seems to think that they need his help, and twice I've had to issue corrections because in my eyes he's gone a little bit too far. He does this thing where he uses his body to gently try and get an older person to stand up straight. He tries to prop them up using his head and raising his body. Each time he's been incredibly gentle about it. I will say that he's been incredibly gentle about it. I had to explain why this was not okay to my eldest daughter, who is copying my training techniques with the pack. I explained to my eldest daughter that with Thor being a banned breed, that we cannot risk an incident, especially with an old or vulnerable person. We have to err on the edge of caution. Now, I explained to her that if XL Bully Thor here tried to do what in his eyes is helping an elderly person by propping them up, and he accidentally causes them to fall over, that elderly person breaks a leg, hits their head, ends up in hospital, whatever, Thor would be taken by police and put down to sleep, regardless of his intentions. Not only that, but I'd be in trouble with the police, and I'd also be in the papers, the news, the media, whatever. You know, it would go something like this: crazed XL bully, hellhound. That's what they'd say: crazed hellhound XL bully knocks elderly person over and causes serious injuries. Now, although big, and he's big, he's incredibly gentle, and there's no doubt that he has the best of intentions and is well known for being very friendly, tolerant, affectionate. He's clearly well trained and socialised. To me, still, it's just not worth the risk. I think he has a knowing. He recognises that they are vulnerable. I've told you, this guy's an analyser. He doesn't skip a beat. He spends a lot of time analysing people, watching, surveying his environment. His head's twitching, his ears are twitching. I've shown you videos time and time again, and you see the same thing. But what you see is a well-trained, well-socialised XL bully that does not get up, that does not react. He just likes to watch. That's all it is. He's an analyser. So, the thing is, he does recognise that these people are vulnerable. If they are bent over, have a walking stick or what I'd call a shuffling gait, when they ask to stroke him, I ensure he remains in the sit-stay position. He's still a puppy. Believe it or not, yes, he's absolutely freaking huge, but he is still a puppy. He's learning and he will make mistakes, but mistakes are great learning curves. If he doesn't make a mistake, then he won't learn. You learn from mistakes. Everybody knows that. Do you know what I mean? Only just now, looking back, I realised he was trying to prop them up and use his body to help them stand upright. He tried to walk forward on the second occasion with a very friendly elderly guy. He had, let me tell you something, he had a really wide smile. Beautiful, beautiful deep blue eyes. He radiated pure positive energy. It's like the universe just brought him to me in that moment, because I was fixing to be in quite a bad mood. The day just didn't go the way I wanted it to do. I was walking up the steps, looking down, replaying shit in my mind. I looked up and I seen this beam, this smile from an old guy, you know, with a really big smile, you know, and his eyes, and I just felt that energy. So, you know, we bounced back and forth like that, do you know what I mean? But when I corrected Thor, XL Bully, with a raised voice, I called it my mum voice, I corrected him, as I couldn't pop the collar, you know, with the elderly man still leaning on Thor. If I'd have popped his collar, they'd have both, Thor would have naturally jerked backwards towards me, and the old guy, oh boy, he'd have been on the floor. So, you know, I couldn't do that. So I had to issue a very stern verbal correction. But this guy, he told me that he found Thor to be, in his own words, soothing. He told me that he goes for short walks to try and meet people, to talk with people, as he suffers from loneliness. That's the word he used, loneliness. Yeah, loneliness. But I don't think it's a bad thing, spending time alone. You know, I don't feel lonely, you know. But we're all different, and he's an older guy. I don't think I've really looked into loneliness with regards to old people. Maybe that's something that I should Google. You know, I'm not laughing about it. It's just, you know, the guy made me smile. So if I sound a little bit happy, it's just because thinking about that guy, it was a really, really positive experience. But when he mentioned he suffers from loneliness as an old person, it rings a bell at the back of my mind. But I don't feel like it's a bad thing to spend time alone. Do you know, I'm not lonely when I'm alone. You know, I don't know, it's hard to comprehend. I don't feel lonely. I'm all right with it. But clearly we're all different, so I understand that. You know, I understand. And I'm going to look into that, actually, like old people and suffering from loneliness, because it kind of boggles the mind, you know. For me it does, like, because I spend most of my time, like I say, I'm alone. You know, like in my day-to-day life, besides my role as a mum, you know, as a partner, as an alpha, leader of a pack, 14 animals, I prefer to be alone. But when he stuttered and he said he suffered from loneliness, I'm going to look into that anyway. Yeah, do that, Destiny. Anyways, much love to you all, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. And Thor will be in a lot of training in the coming days, just to help with this issue